Did LegalZoom set up your company correctly? Probably not. I'm Courtney English, business and trademark attorney, and I'm going to talk to you about LegalZoom today. Let's dive in. So LegalZoom has gotten a lot of buzz. It's great for limited purposes, but it's not my favorite. And you might be thinking, of course you're going to say that. You're a lawyer. Well, yes, that is partially true, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've been hired to fix quite a few things that LegalZoom has broken. Why? Because LegalZoom is pretty much an algorithm where you're putting in information and it's getting spit right back out. It is not a substitute for an attorney. And a lot of the disclaimers actually say that in there. So you think I'm making this up? I'm not. They recognized it too. Now, what has happened? Let me give you a few examples of where LegalZoom has went wrong and what you should probably think about. Number one, partnerships. People come together, they form an LLC, they say, oh, we're a partnership, LegalZoom did all my documentation. Here you go. Now we're having a dispute. I pull it up and I look through it and I realize that LegalZoom had not only formed their LLC, it never properly gave them the percentage of allocations in their business. So while we're winding up or dissolving or whatever, one partner got 30%, one got 70%, which is not what they agreed on. How did that happen? That happened because, again, it's an algorithm. It can make mistakes. And most of these are just push and play on paper. So another example I can give you, number two, is going to be dispute issues. So let's say that you want a contract. You get it drafted through LegalZoom. A dispute mandates arbitration. No one ever explained to you what an arbitration clause was. Or maybe you Googled it and you saw a little bit of information, you glossed over it. So you had someone sign it. Now we're in dispute world. And arbitration is costing you an arm and a leg. And it would have been way cheaper to even go to court. People don't realize that arbitration is not necessarily better than going before a judge. In many situations, especially if you're a business owner, arbitration may not be the answer. So it's costly and it's time consuming and it's required and you're bound because it's in a contract that you signed, but no one ever told you about it. Number three, another reason why I've seen LegalZoom mess this one up is attorney fee provision. Did you know in most states, you cannot get your attorney fees back unless they're in the contract? That's right. You have to ask for them. They have to be in the contract. If they're not there, you're not going to get them. And that's really important. And here's why. If I am in the right and we sign a contract and you're in the wrong and you know you're wrong and you're going to owe me money, I have to go now hire a lawyer to represent me. That's going to cost me just about as much money to enforce the contract to get my money back from you. And I don't get reimbursed for those lawyer fees. That's a huge problem. So why would you want to sign something where if you're, intending to act ethically and uphold the standards where you couldn't be reimbursed if things went wrong? You don't want to sign that, right? And again, this is where LegalZoom can get it wrong sometimes because I've seen those contracts come from and I've heard them disputed in a courtroom and a lot of them don't have that language. Now, my final point on LegalZoom, and I could probably extend this video a little bit longer, but my final point on LegalZoom is that it is not a substitute for custom advice for your business. It's just not. What can happen is you can think your business is going one direction and LegalZoom, doing the best they can do, just spits things out to, solve the information you're feeding them. They don't know how to probe for deeper. They don't know to ask you the questions about your scaling or to push back on your ideas to make sure that that is the correct way to set things up. They just don't know how to do that. That's not what they're designed to do. So what can happen is your business goes in one direction and the paperwork doesn't support it. And when something goes wrong, even let's say you have all those other provisions we just talked about in there and you really love your contract, but something goes wrong and it's not the same type of service or goods that the contract was contemplated for. And that happens a lot because they're not asking those questions. They're not probing you. It's not a human where you're getting an interaction and a custom response. Now, it's really important, as I tell all business owners, to educate yourself. Whatever service you hire to do things for you, make sure you go through and you understand what all the terms are, what terms are missing. Is it sufficient for your business? And, can this help you grow and scale? Because really, my goal when I work with a client is not only to protect them today, to make sure we're going in a direction and setting up legal protection so they can grow and scale and stay protected. There's a difference. We can protect you today pretty simply, but we want to make sure that we're contemplating down the road. So you're not coming back to me every month, every 6 months to change things. We're trying to get you set up so you can just go run your business. And LegalZoom just doesn't do that. And ask me how I know. So not to totally rag on them. Like I said, they have their place for certain things. They're not my favorite because I've been paid many times over to fix things they have broken or they missed. And, I've had clients even get their money back from them because of this. So it's a problem. It's never a substitute for advice from an actual attorney. It's not a substitute for someone digging into your business and ensuring that you are protected and you understand risk, because really understanding risk is a big part of being a business owner, and you have to have that down. So subscribe, ask me any questions you may have. I'm here to help. Thanks.